All right, let's talk. So what's up, everyone? This is KJ with Passport Club. I received a good amount of text messages, emails, asking me about, just asking, questions about Thailand and Bangkok and kind of what my experience was, but more so for like tips. So instead of like responding to a bunch of emails, text messages, I decided I was just going to do a video and see how it goes. Hopefully, I can answer a majority of people's questions. Now, one of the questions that I received was regarding money in Thailand. So you do have options. You can exchange your money out here in the States or wherever you're coming from, or you can exchange it out there. Now, my bank, they lost their mind with that exchange rate, so I didn't exchange my money here. I waited till I got to Thailand to do that. When you go through customs in Thailand, you are going to see several places that you can exchange your money out at. If you go to the basement in the BKK airport, there is a vendor called Super Rich. You're gonna have to go down this long corridor when you first get down there, and they're kind of somewhat at the end. Their rates were pretty good, but like always, do your due diligence before you get there to see what the rates are and kind of compare. But their rates were actually pretty good. Now, how much cash do you need? I don't ever like really answering that question for somebody else, because I don't know everybody's travel habits and like how they like to travel and how they like to do things. I would say it is good to have some cash on you, because there are a lot of vendors there around Thailand. And specifically in Bangkok, you probably can't go too far without coming across a vendor or somebody selling something. And they're not going to have a credit card machine or anything like that on them. So it's going to be good to have cash for that. Not only that, if you plan on taking like a tuk-tuk or a taxi, you're going to need cash. So for those reasons alone, keep some cash on you along with your cards. Now, your card situation, if you have an American Express, it's not going to do you too much good there. Hotels will probably take American Express. Of course, you can use American Express at the airports for the most part, but you're going to need a Visa card. I honestly didn't see a lot of vendors that took MasterCard. You'll see Visa or MasterCard, one of those little placards kind of posted either on the door or the window before you walk into a place. So make sure you have a Visa card on you. And everything else, I guess you can not say leave, but find out when you get there if they take a MasterCard or if they take American Express, but you're not going to really see a whole lot of that. Now, one thing I will say is when you're dealing with the street vendors, if it's regarding food that you're buying, don't try to haggle with them, because it's kind of their craft. They're making the food from like a recipe or something that they do, and it's like their little niche to it, because I didn't see anybody making street food the same. They're doing their own thing with it. So I probably wouldn't try to haggle with somebody over the food they're making as far as price goes. Those people that are selling like clothes and shoes and stuff, oh yeah, haggle with them. And this is going to be more so for the guys. I'm not big or anything, but they kept trying to sell me on like 2X and 3X shirts. Fellas, try the shirts on before you buy them, because those shirts do run big, and you might be able to get away with a medium or a large or just an XL. Try the shirts on before, because they will try to charge you 50 to 100 baht more for the shirt, because they're assuming that you're bigger. Okay? Food wise and spending, it depends on where you're at. If you're in an area that has a lot of tourists, chances are you are going to pay a little bit more for food. United States prices, hell no. European prices, hell no. The food is still inexpensive, and it's really, really good. High end, 10 to 15 bucks for a meal in a tourist area. If you're not in a tourist area, and say you go across a river or you go to Chinatown, you're probably going to be anywhere between 5 and 10 bucks for a meal. And the portions are going to be about the same size, and it's going to be probably better than what you would find in a tourist area. If you're spending money on nightlife, then probably have cash with you. I mean, I'm not opening up a tab in a place where I don't speak the language. So probably have cash on you to spend there. I think most clubs there are probably anywhere between 10 and 20 bucks in USD prices. Going inside a club is just kind of like going anywhere else. Like the alcohol is going to be a little bit more expensive in there. It is what it is. If you're getting into anything else, like the massage parlors or anything like that, the massage place that I went to, they did take card. It was a foot reflexology place, and I don't think I'm saying that right, but they took card. It was a Visa. They didn't take American Express. So some of the places that you do go to for a massage will take a credit card, but I will say this now, and this is just kind of an extra tip: book your appointment ahead of time, because if they're good, they're going to be booked out at least a day in advance. Just give them a call, tell them what you want, and book it. So getting from the airport into the city, from BKK into the city, you have a few options. You can take a train you can take the train from the airport, and it has a couple connections to it if your hotel is going to be off of that line. Now, me personally, if you're carrying a big luggage, I wouldn't jump off of a train and start walking down the street with a big old suitcase going wherever you're going. That's just me. So if you're leaving the airport, I would say either hire a driver in advance, or you can take a taxi, or you can do Bolt. So Bolt is their version of Uber. And for the most part, it seemed like it worked pretty well, but I didn't use Bolt a whole lot. I used the train. So that's how you would get from the airport. Now, while you're in the city, again, you have Bolt, you have tuk-tuks, you have taxis, you have your feet. If you're in a good area, you can pretty much walk everywhere. And then you have the transit system. I did not take the bus, so I can't talk on the bus, but I took the train almost everywhere I went. So the train system is twofolds, right? You have BTS and then you have MRT. MRT is the subway and BTS is the SkyTrain. They are not owned by the same company. So if you buy a pass for one, it will not work on the other one. So if you're planning on moving around a lot and taking the train to a lot of the different places, you will probably need to get a pass for both. It does not work like a lot of transit systems. It is pretty much on a distance scale. So going down one stop will not be the same price as going down 10 stops. Now, it's very, very cheap, and it is very, very efficient, and it's very, very much so on time. So you can get to most places by taking BTS or MRT, no problems. If you do tuk-tuk, or if you do the taxi, I encourage you to look up where you're going and how much it should cost before you go. Or if you have a tour guide or doing tours, ask that person ahead of time how much it should cost, because the tuk-tuk drivers and the taxi drivers will charge you a crazy amount because they know you're not from there. And if you don't know what it should cost, they're going to get you. All right, so where to stay? You have a few options. Airbnb, definitely a good option. Hotels, definitely a good option. I stayed in an area called Sukhumvit, and I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but that's where I stayed. For me, it was a great area. There was food, there was vendors, the shopping wasn't too far away. It was an easy pickup for like tours. So if you're doing a tour and they're picking you up from the hotel, that was an easy place to get picked up from. And the nightlife was everywhere. So Sukhumvit area, and I would say probably Soi 11 is a good area to stay in. If you are going there to party, then you probably want to stay in the Nana area, which is also not a bad area to stay in. The Sukhumvit, there's a long road with several like alleys and other streets, and there's always something going on in every street. There are several malls in that area, and the SkyTrain runs up and down that area, so you can easily jump on and take it down a stop or 2 stops. But walking distance between a stop is not that bad. That's a good area to actually stay in. Now, I'm sure there's other areas, and if people have suggestions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. I just know the Sukhumvit area for me was a good area, and it was safe. So safety in Bangkok. To be honest with you, I probably felt safer there than I have in my own city that I live in. You can walk around at night by yourself. Nobody's gonna mess with you. Nobody's gonna say anything to you. I'm not saying that it's like Bangkok is absent of crime, but I didn't see anything like that. And there's plenty of people walking around everywhere. So I think even if you're a female and you wanted to travel solo, I think you would be perfectly fine traveling solo in Bangkok. I don't think you're gonna have any problems or there's any extra precautions that you need to take, anything extra than you would normally do where you live or where you come from. So next up is going to be acceptability for lifestyles, right? So everybody has their lifestyle that they live. I will say this, the Thai people seem to be very acceptable of your lifestyle, no matter what it is. You can go there and probably not feel judged, and be perfectly fine. The people there, they come off very respectful, very caring. They can come off a little bit more curious. So like, you know, if you stand out in some kind of way, they're probably going to look at you. But I think they're more accepting to lifestyle and preferences, and a lot of you know what I mean, than probably anywhere else. And no matter your ethnicity, I think you're going to be fine there. Nobody's looking at you, you know, any kind of way or anything. Now, this will serve as kind of a warning to people that have Buddhist tattoos. Cover them up, because I didn't know this until I got there, but it is considered to be very disrespectful if you have a Buddhist tattoo on your body. Buddha is not meant to be used for decoration. So you want to make sure that you cover that up. Ladies, if you are doing tours and you are going to some of the temples, expect to cover up. So no shoulders showing, no cleavage showing or anything like that. Cover up. Everybody, when you go into like the Grand Palace areas, you're not allowed to wear shorts. You will have to wear pants. So if you are going there in the summertime, just be very, very mindful that you're not going to be able to get in if you have shorts. The great thing is that there are vendors that sell these pants. One second. These pants, which are very comfortable, very lightweight. The breeze kind of cuts through them so you can air out a little bit. And they're very, very cheap. I think these were like 200 baht, something like that, which is less than $5. You can pick these up at most of the tourist places. If there is the Grand Palace or a temple you can't get into with shorts on, you can buy those. If you're staying near a tourist area already and you see somebody selling those pants, just run over there, grab you some, and then put them in your backpack. So that way, if you go somewhere and they say you can't wear shorts, you can easily just slip these on over whatever shorts you have, and then you're good to go. All right. Last thing I want to talk about is going to be the language barrier. There is definitely a language barrier. There are some people that speak English. Mostly at like the restaurants, they'll understand what you're trying to say. In the mall, there are people that, you know, may or may not speak a little bit of English. But it's not so much an issue to where it's like, oh, you can't really do anything. You can definitely get you a tour guide to take you around to different places. Most of the venues that you go to, there will be somebody that speaks English. The train station, when you're buying tickets, they usually speak English or they have a good understanding of it. So do you need to know Thai when you get there? No. Does it help? Maybe, but to me, that language seems extremely hard to learn. The one thing that I will say that you can probably learn now, which is the only thing that I learned, is how to say thank you. And that is cup, coop, cup. And I might still be saying that wrong, but that is how you say thank you. That's how you say thank you if you're a guy. If you're a girl, you say cup, coop, ka. If you're a guy, don't say that, because from what I was told, they will think that you're transitioning to be a lady boy. So don't say with a ka, say with a cup. All right, so outside of that, that is the tips that I have for Bangkok. But if you guys have any other questions or something I didn't answer, feel free to message me on Instagram, or you can send me an email. Outside of that,